Well, some really nice finds and even a spoonful of history. Well, welcome back to my channel, Finding America. I recently got a great photo of one of my subscribers wearing his Finding America t-shirt, and I thought I'd share it with you. So thanks so much for sending me that, Mike, and I have to say you have impeccable taste in attire. Now, Mike also has a YouTube channel of his own. It's called MetDetNC. And I have provided a link down below in the video description, and I hope you'll use that link to go visit his channel. Now, if you would also like to send in your picture wearing your Finding America shirt, we'd love to have it. And all you have to do is send it to this email address. So, this video, I have two separate hunts. The first hunt was last Friday. I was on my own, headed out in the morning. My intention was to try to find the hardest hit park that I knew of. And that was in a nearby town. So I headed over there. It's been hunted for decades, and it's pretty tough to get signals out of. But I have to say, the Equinox, well, it really proved itself once again. Well, I'm here this morning at a park in a town not too far from me. Now this park had all kinds of old houses in it and churches, and they just tore them all down years ago and built this park. So I've been over here before and found a few Wheaties and a Model T valve stem cap. So I thought, you know, I really need to bring this Equinox over here. And I'll tell you what, I have been in a 5-foot section, I haven't been able to leave it. There's so many signals. This signal here, very kind of mixed signal, so I wanted to clear out the midtone. Except the midtone was what was really killer. Check it out. This is my first, well, I dug up a file and a few other things, but this is my first good target. And I have not wiped it or anything, but I have an Indian head penny. I mean, like right off the bat. It was maybe 4 or 5 inches down. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna toothpick this and we'll see what date I have, but boy, that's awesome. I'm telling you. I mean, literally a 10-foot section. So many signals, haven't been able to leave it. So I've just been clearing things out and seeing what's underneath. So let me get this toothpicked and we'll check it out. Awesome. Well, there you have it, guys. It's beautiful. Look at that patina, 1899. So I got into the 1800s on my very first good target. Oh boy, that is awesome. Well, the next signal I got was 1819. Man, I dug way down. I'll tell you what, that's a good 8 inches. And I popped this out of the hole. Check that out. It's a small oil lamp burner. That's what the wick would go through. And the adjusting piece. I'll see if I can find the wheel. Sometimes they have a patent date on them. But that is awesome. I mean, that was way down. I pulled 2 nails out of the hole that were above it, and it still kept telling me there was something in the hole. So that is awesome. I'm still in this 10-foot section, just going real slow, digging it all, having a blast. Well, I just got a nice 1819 signal. Popped the plug and saw it sitting right here. Right on top of the plug here. Now, I haven't even looked at this yet, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be a kid's ring, some kind of kid's ring. Let me, oh, that's cool. Not sure what it is yet. Yeah, got some age to it. Let me get it cleaned up a little bit and I'll be right back. Well, this is a really cool ring. It's a kid's ring. It says Junior Fire Marshal and has a big buck or elk in the center. And on each side it has something. Here it has crossed axes. And then on the other side, it has a fire helmet. How cool is that? I'll tell you what, I have hardly moved in this park. There's so many signals to dig. This Nox is really an amazing machine. It really, truly is. Separation's awesome, and I'm having a blast. Well, next signal was ringing 24. It was only about 3-4 inches down, and I already took a look at it, but I got a Weedy, and this one's going to be a 1944. So, yep, it was in between a bunch of trash, but I managed to wiggle out the squeak, and that's what it was. Very nice. Well, this next hole, I was getting a 17 to 19, kind of bouncing around. And pulled this out of the ground. I found one of these last year. I still don't know what they are. I'll give you a shot of this though. That is a very strange piece. It's got some prongs on the inside too. I just don't know what that is. Anyone has any ideas? Let me know. This is the second one I found. It's an interesting thing. But I also got a little twofer out of this hole. Check out what popped out of the dirt when I was going after that other thing. Got a nice marble. Yeah, there you go. Always like digging those marbles. Now, next signal was hitting solid 12. Didn't waver, and got about 6 inches down and got myself a nice early Jefferson. This one is going to be a 41. Just missed the silver mark. Well, my next signal was kind of choppy, but giving me a 16. Went ahead and dug down. It was about 6 inches, but this thing is, that is a big spoon. Look at that sucker. That's a big old serving spoon. So I just thought I'd show you that one. It's not every day I dig a spoon that big. All right, well, I was getting a nice 27. And about 4 inches down, I think I see it. I saw an edge here. Grabbed the camera. Oh yeah, look. Oh yeah, looks like it's a mark. That's awesome. Second silver with the Equinox. There you go. Well, there she is. Gave her a little rinse off. 1945, last year. That's awesome. I tell you, this park is hounded over and over by so many people, and to find what I've been finding so far, quite the testament to this machine. So very happy. Indian head and a piece of silver now. Well, this next hunt features Chris and myself. And we got together this Labor Day on Monday, do a little bit of hunting. Temperature's really hot, but we got there early in the morning, and we managed to get about 5 hours in. We decided no real plan. We were going to just beat around town and metal detect anywhere we could. And I have to tell you, sometimes having no plan is a good plan. Yeah, Chris called me over. What'd you get, man?
I don't know, maybe a scutcheon or something?
Yeah.
It's got a nice design around it.
Yeah, it is nice.
It looks kind of early. It's kind of beaded too in the middle.
That's pretty.
Yeah, that's different.
Cool find. What was it ringing up at?
I don't even remember. 19 maybe?
Yeah. All right,
pretty
man.
Cool.
Well, we got a 1617. I tell you, it looks like a coin, but it's got some crust on it. I don't know what it is. Definitely gonna have to work on it when I get back home, but it's very interesting. Well, I got something really nice. Equinox is hitting 27 to 30, and I'm like, please, please, please. And I get down about 4 or 5 inches. I called Chris over so he could see this. But check out what's sitting in the dirt.
It looks silver to me.
Yeah, man, that's a silver spoon. minus a handle, and it does have markings on the back here. Gonna have to get the magnifying glasses to look at it, but look at that thing. That is pretty nice.
A little teaspoon, huh?
Yeah, it's definitely sterling. So I'll get
it's a first for finding America.
A silver spoon? Yeah. Since I started YouTube, that's for sure. Oh, that's really nice. So I will get it cleaned up and give you a better look at it and see what this back mark is. Well, I gave the spray bottle to Chris to clean this off, and it turns out there's like, oh, you're not kidding. Look at the spoon bowl. Oh, wow.
Church of Guadalupe,
1549.
Ciudad Juarez, Mexico.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
That's cool.
Holy cow. Check that out. Church of Guadalupe, 1549, Ciudad Juarez, Mexico. So this is like a sterling silver souvenir spoon.
An early one.
Very early. And check out, oh boy, do I wish I had the rest of this spoon. Look at that fancy handle.
Been up on top.
And then on the back it is marked sterling.
Something, there's an and mark and an R in the hearts.
Yeah. So that is way cool. That's really cool.
Wow.
Woohoo! All right.
That's neat.
Now, I'd heard of the Church of Guadalupe, but beyond that, I knew very little about it. So once I started doing some research, I quickly learned that the church owes its existence to a miracle. Now, in December, all the way back in 1531, Juan Diego, who was an early convert to Christianity, was walking to a Franciscan mission near Mexico City. As he neared a hill called Tepeyac Hill, he came across an apparition dressed in the Aztec clothing of a princess. But he quickly came to recognize it was the Virgin Mary. She asked Juan Diego if he would go to the Archbishop and ask him to build her a chapel upon this hill, so she might better serve those who called on her in need. He relayed this request to the Archbishop, and in trying to convince him of what he had seen, Juan Diego was asked to provide a sign. When he returned to Mary at the hill, he told her of the request. Mary asked Juan Diego, "Climb to the top of the hill and gather the flowers to give to the bishop." Now Juan Diego knew that nothing grew on top of this hill except for cactus, but he climbed the hill anyway, and when he reached the top of the hill, he was amazed to see roses growing there. He picked the roses and used his burlap cloak to carry the roses down the hill. Well, once down, Mary arranged the flowers herself in his cloak and told him to only open the cloak upon his return to the bishop. Now when Juan arrived at the bishop's residence, he opened his cloak, and as the roses cascaded to the floor, left on his cloak was the image of the Virgin Mary. An amazing thing, within 7 years of this miracle, 7 million Aztecs converted to Christianity. And the chapel that was built on the spot where the cloak can still be seen today is now one of the most popular pilgrimage spots in the world, receiving nearly 20 million visitors a year. Well, an interesting event occurred in 1921. An anti-clerical activist entered the church under false pretenses, claiming to want to make an offering to the Virgin Mary. Well, what he really intended to do was plant a very big bomb. Well, this bomb consisted of 29 sticks of dynamite that he hid inside a pot of roses. And he placed this pot directly in front of the glass case that held the cloak. And that bomb, well, it exploded. It destroyed heavy marble railings, and windows were shattered 150 feet away. A very large and heavy brass crucifix lay mangled and twisted on the floor. But the glass case and the cloak behind it didn't suffer any damage. Now, witnesses and authorities all stated that the glass did not shatter, and the cloak was absolutely damage-free. And that's some of the history of the Church of Guadalupe. Well, we got a 17, and this is what I saw when I pulled the plug up. And I already know what it is, but if you check it out, that is a Chevrolet horn button. And it's going to be 40s. I'll get it cleaned up, but that would have gone in the center of the steering wheel. I'll get it cleaned up and give you a better look at it. That's a really cool piece. Well, next target was ringing 1314 on the Equinox, sort of in the nickel range. I dug down and I finally got this out of there. Check that out. I don't know, it must be, I can't tell if it's a piece of jewelry or some type of button. I'll have to get it home and clean it up some more, but pretty cool item. Has some nice weight to it. Well, it's going real slow through these woods and field here, and got a little 20 squeaker every once in a while. I was able to wiggle it out and isolate the signal, and it sounded pretty good, and I got down about 6 inches. I found something pretty cool. Check this out. It's a sample of massage cream from McBrady of Chicago. That's pretty cool. Definitely going to be early 1900s. Seems to be, must have been a little small tin in the bottom. Boy, is that small. Yeah, that was a little sample of their product. I will have to look into that. That is really cool. I was getting a pretty solid 13. Definitely a little squeaker in between some iron. And I finally got it out. So I got it brushed off a little bit, and it seems to have a pretty cool design on it. It's convex, and the backside has a pushed over shank. So this may be a Victorian woman's dress button or a coat button, but I'll get it home, get it cleaned up, and we'll see what's going on with this thing. It's pretty cool looking. Well, Chris made a nice find.
Look at that thing.
That's gorgeous.
That's some kind of, I guess, jewelry or...
I don't know.
Kind of neat.
Yeah. It didn't look like this when we got it. It was actually folded into thirds, and the inside was hidden. We just saw this part. So I've been sitting here for about a minute trying to straighten it.
Very delicately.
And we got it cleaned up, and check it out. That thing is really cool. Well,
not bad for 2 finds in a day, huh?
Well, I would definitely be happy with that find. That is pretty awesome looking. So
it's unique.
Definitely unique. Well, I tell you, we're hunting out in this field, and I got a 17. I dug down, and that came out of the hole. And I was like, what the heck is that? And I'm starting to think it was Spanish silver. But believe it or not, this is what's left of a Barber dime. Look how thin it is. I have no idea what kind of heck this dime went through. But I can see a wreath and 1 dime on this side. And you can just make out the Barber head here when it hits the sun just right. I don't know if it's going to come through for you guys, but that is insane. That's a Barber dime, or what's left of one. I was going to say this is my 3rd silver with the Equinox, but maybe 2.5. Jeez, that's insane. Worst time I've ever dug. Or the coolest, I don't know. Well, that had to be the worst Barber dime I have ever dug. So, I hope you enjoyed that video, but please don't take off just yet. I have some very cool historical photos coming up in a few seconds I'd like to share with you. And, as always, remember, history makes that find a treasure, and I can't wait to see you back here next week on Finding America.